Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
This is Shayna Baszler, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up? It's the moonwalking, trash talking princess of Staten Island. I want to remind you all that Mela is money, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
This is the knockout artist, Cassius Ohno, and you're going in Raw.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Excuse me, and Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever fine podcasts can be found. If you're listening to us out there on an audio podcast app, be sure to leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It always really helps. Going In Raw and the exposure of Going In Raw. Ooh, I almost had that one, and then I went off the rails.
You're so close.
We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. We had a new patron yesterday, a new backer yesterday, El Vaquero Eduardo de la Muerte. Welcome to the fold.
Welcome, thank you,
Eduardo. At $1 and up there on the Patreon. We got a bunch of great reward tiers there. All go a long way to supporting Going In Raw.
Yes.
$1, number one, goes a long way here at Going In Raw. Number one. And what do you get for $1, Larson?
Oh, what don't you get for $1?
A lot.
That's true, a lot.
Yeah. But you do get some stuff. You do get Going In Raw ad-free. You get your own RSS feed that you can import to your podcast app. Listen to the show ad-free. And
also you get our gratitude.
And you get one weekly, but that doesn't matter. Nobody cares about our gratitude. Nobody cares about that.
Well, you get a shout-out in which we say thanks.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a
it
thing
is,
that they
but
get.
Part of the shout-out is we showing appreciation
sure.
for your contribution.
But people like having their name read, so that's a thing that we can,
Well, that's part of it. It's the show gratitude as well.
Yeah, right. They just like hearing their name read. And then, so that's good stuff. And then you get a bonus episode, Overrun, once a week. So that's fun stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
We have other tiers too, offers other stuff, so check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's good. It's a good way to support Going In Raw.
It is.
Yeah.
Do we have any other plugs we need to do before we get started?
We still have a bunch of shirts and sticker packs at friendomarket.com.
Oh, we should do a sale for that on New Year's. What do you say?
New Year's? Yeah, sure, I'm down. Like a 24-hour sale.
Yeah.
Bring them down to like $20 for
you
a
got
okay.
it.
Well, you guys need to wait till New Year the 1st?
Let's do it for the 31st and the 1st. 2 whole days.
2 entire days?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Rock bottom prices.
We got all sorts of backstock back there. End of year clearance. Out with the old, in with the new.
What new? We don't have anything new, though.
But we talked about doing new, next year.
They increased the credit line on our credit card.
I don't want to hear that.
By like $4,000.
Don't want to hear that.
So we can do hoodies now.
Well, that's good, but we got to pay off what's on there first.
Nah, we can do hoodies first.
I mean, the whole point. Never mind. Okay.
Anyways, let's talk about this. It's the thumbnail. It's the title of the show.
It's top story this week.
Ronda versus Becky at Mania confirmed. I feel
Really?
like this is borderline non-news.
Well, I mean, it kind of
makes
confirms stuff we'd heard prior, namely that we're going to get Charlotte and Ronda at the Rumble. We've been hearing that for a while. Ever since Survivor Series and the finish of it. This from this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, of course, the words of Dave Meltzer, quote, "As of this week, Rousey versus Lynch is the Mania match."
Well, okay, so yeah, that itself, there had been, obviously with the way things are going on SmackDown and Raw, speculation that, okay, well, what are they going to do? Asuka's extremely over. They seem to have found something good with Charlotte. Could this be a fatal four-way? Is it going to be a triple threat? Right now, Meltzer says, as you said, as of this week, Rousey versus Lynch is the Mania match. He continues, the decision on if it will be the main event and go on last has not been made and probably won't be made until very close to showtime. That is not surprising at all. But it will be one of the most pushed matches and perhaps the most pushed. That makes, end quote.
It makes all the sense in the world.
That makes all the sense. They're going to push the crap out of this, man.
Yeah.
And I would not surprise me at all. Look, man, Roman Reigns, we're not sure when he's going to come back. Vince really does love the idea of him main eventing
every
Mania after Mania. Here's the thing. When he does come back, it's going to be huge. That's going to main event Mania.
Oh, absolutely.
This is your window of opportunity to kind of put a nice bow on the whole women's revolution thing. You want to make your final big historical statement, main event, women's division.
But also there's that. Also, Becky Lynch is the hottest wrestler in the entire company. She is amazingly over. So pitting her against the top mainstream crossover star WWE has, Ronda Rousey, just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah,
it makes all the sense in the world.
It's not you're not shoehorning this opportunity here. This makes all the sense in the world.
It really does. And if they don't do it, ooh,
yeah,
terrible idea.
Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna have Brock and Seth main event. Which, all the potential there to be a fun match, maybe, because Seth's involved.
Right before TLC, that probably had like a 40% chance of happening. Now it's down to like 10% because the whole "this is boring" thing with Seth and Dean.
I don't think Seth is going to face any brunt of that. Seth, he's proven over and over again this year that he is a fun wrestler.
If you don't think that sort of laid some doubt in Vince McMahon's mind in terms of...
Well, he can't place the blame for that squarely and entirely on Seth's feet.
I don't think he can either. I don't think he should.
One of the participants in that match has proven throughout 2018 to be one of the most exciting wrestlers on Raw, whereas the other participant in that match has proved repeatedly throughout his WWE career that he has a tendency to underwhelm. Anyways.
I'm just saying it brought the percentages of that down.
Of it happening or main eventing?
Main eventing.
Oh, yeah, because I think...
Oh, yeah, no, I think Seth
that match is going to happen, and Seth will probably win the Universal title at WrestleMania.
Probably,
It'll be great.
Should.
However, Rousey versus Becky Lynch has to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Just makes all the sense
Absolutely.
in the world. Storyline-wise, financially, by every metric I can conjure up, it makes the most sense.
There's nobody else. No Undertaker match, no HBK match, no John Cena match. Even if John Cena went after Daniel Bryan for that WWE title, which you and I both hope that happens.
I hope it happens, and it should happen.
Even that isn't bigger than Ronda Becky.
Nope.
It absolutely
Imagine this is the top of the card for Mania. Main event, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Then you got Brock versus Seth. You got AJ, maybe HBK. And then you got Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Those are 4 awesome, stellar, marquee matches at the top of the card.
Hey, let me ask you something. Do you think that Vince McMahon, AJ Styles weird segment, is that some sort of bizarre way to set up AJ Styles versus HBK?
I don't know how.
I still don't know what the point of that segment was, besides I've sort of come around to the idea that Vince is just trolling being the elite.
Maybe.
I've kind of come around to that.
Maybe. Do you think he watches every episode of Being the Elite? No. Someone fills him in on it, maybe. Meltzer does add, though, that Charlotte could be added to the match still at this point to make it a triple threat.
Yeah.
Another interesting note from the newsletter. Apparently, Ronda's initial opponent for Mania wasn't going to be Charlotte at all, but Natalya. Meltzer states, quote, "The two things that took that out of the picture were that Lynch and Flair got hurt and that Jim Neidhart died. And once Neidhart died, Vince didn't want to turn Natalya heel on Rousey anytime soon." So I guess we got that pretty awesome match on Raw on Christmas Eve instead.
That would not have main evented the show.
No, it wouldn't have main evented the show.
Really
but that would have been Ronda's program heading into Mania.
Yeah, which would have been good for Natalya.
Mm-hmm.
But they have something way bigger here.
Oh yeah,
way bigger.
Oh,
so that's cool.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting. Even I don't know at what point Natalya versus Ronda was kind of in the works in terms of it being kind of penciled in for Mania.
Yeah.
But if they thought that before, they thought that was going to be the match even before considering Charlotte versus Ronda, unless they hand that plan for the following year, that's interesting,
Yeah. We're going to talk about the horrific Raw ratings.
I did not see the SmackDown numbers yet. I think they probably got delayed because of the holiday. Because usually we get the Raw numbers the following day. They didn't come in until today, Thursday.
The Raw numbers did come in today on
We
Thursday.
probably won't see the SmackDown numbers till
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
Friday,
All right,
after
gotcha.
this already goes up.
Gotcha.
So this is all interesting stuff. Of course, as with everything in WWE, plans can always change on a dime.
And of course, when you say plans, you mean Vince McMahon.
Whims. His whims can change.
His whims can change on a
Fickle.
dime. Exactly.
Fickle.
You know what? How about this? My new Pitbull AJ Styles versus Becky Lynch, the man. Let's see who comes out on top. Dad, that's intergender. No, it's not. Becky says she's a man. We can do it now. Yeah, socially, it's socially.
And AJ let the animal out of him. He's an animal now.
He's an animal now. That's what they can do. Yeah, that kills my voice when I do that.
I can imagine. It
My
sounds
throat
like
just starts.
It sounds
aching.
like it would destroy it. I don't even bother trying to try
aching.
it. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
You alluded to this. Let's talk about it now. Ratings for Raw, not good.
Woo, stink.
Yeah, ratings are in via Showbiz Daily, and Raw hit an all-time low.
Show Buzz Daily.
Oh, what'd I say?
Showbiz Daily.
Oh, yeah, Show Buzz Daily. Sorry, just, you see show...
And B and
you
Z.
think it's going to be Biz. Show Buzz Daily, all-time low for the Christmas Eve episode, drawing an average of 1.775 million viewers. This is down from last week, which saw 2.547 million viewers. You can't really expect a huge ratings bonanza on Christmas Eve.
Sort of a better metric would actually be what it was last year.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, look into that.
All right, I'm going to look into that.
I mean, it was lower, obviously, because this is the lowest it's ever been.
Let's see. That's a good point. So last year, Raw literally was on Christmas.
And it was live. They did it live on Christmas Day.
And this was, yeah. Well, that makes sense that it would be lower now. Let's see here. December 25th, 2017, Raw WWE ratings. Let's see what they have here.
Slight decline.
A slight decline? Oh, my gosh.
Started out 2.94, 2.95.
It averaged 2.7.
Wow, it's down 1 million over the course of a year.
Whoa.
Check in 2016 what it was. With the Christmas, we've been on the 26th?
Correct.
26. See what 12, 26, 16 is going to be.
Viewers down for the holidays. We know that. Oh, man.
2.9, yeah.
2.9.
Par with the year prior, so it's down 1 million
around
viewers.
2.85. That's what it was. 2.85.
Over 1 million less viewers.
Wow. I mean, it was on Christmas Eve. Generally, I don't do.
It was taped.
It was taped. So spoilers were out there, and people were dumping all over it in the first place.
Yeah. Which is weird. I mean, we were there. It was a fun show.
It's a forgettable episode, dude.
No, I agree with that. It was forgettable in the sense of storyline progression. There's some really good matches.
There's one really good match, and there was one good match.
There's two really good matches and one good match.
The one good... Wait. There was the
tag match was really good.
That was really good.
I thought Ronda and Natalya was really good, too.
Good.
It was really good. And then the triple threat, the Dolph, Drew, and Finn match was good.
Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah, it was forgetful, man. Nobody's watching that.
But then you had Vince as Santa Claus announcing.
Yeah, why didn't that get 3 million viewers on its own?
I know.
Vince in a Santa suit. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, it kind of felt like they booked the Christmas Eve edition of Raw as if they knew it wasn't going to do anything.
I think the big bummer...
Whereas on SmackDown on Christmas night, they booked that show as if people were actually going to tune in and watch it.
Yeah.
And they had the U.S. title match. I mean, there was actually things that happened on that show.
Well, I kind of feel like, and I don't know, every family does things different. Christmas Eve, I feel like people are more away from their TVs than Christmas night.
Yeah.
Christmas night, everything's done. You're done with everything.
Yeah, usually you dinner early.
We went to my parents' house. No, wait, Christmas. What did we do Christmas?
See, like my family, like Christmas Eve is the night.
I'm sure. Yeah, me too. And then Christmas morning we do stuff like the kids open up their presents and stuff.
And then it's early dinner at like 3, and then
I think I took a nap on Christmas. But
I
think
things are done.
Oh yeah. No, we went to my parents' house just super low key on Christmas night. Like everything was done, everything was done with. My parents had leftovers from Christmas Eve, and so there were a surprising number of cars on the road. So people just go about their business Christmas night.
Yeah.
They're just doing their thing. So
Yeah.
it's kind of not surprising. But Christmas Eve, people are just doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally.
I don't know.
I guess if you want to pull any sort of silver lining from these numbers, This is what WrestleZone had to say about it. Viewership actually rose after the first hour. So the first hour saw about 1.75 million viewers, and that went up to 1.78, almost 1.79 for hour 2, and then dipped back down to 1.784 for hour 3.
There's just no silver linings, man.
No, it's
all
not.
bad.
It's all bad.
But you can't. I mean, look, the shakeup is either going to work or it's not. We're heading into Rumble/Mania season. Ratings are going to go up. Cena's coming back. Ratings are going to go up for that. But long term, they need to get their creative in order.
They need to learn how to generate actual legitimate excitement.
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
Which they have a huge problem doing these days.
And it's kind of obvious, I would think, given what we've seen with the Elite and how they've sort of, they're taking it upon themselves, evidently, to create a whole new promotion rather than sign with WWE. And I think it's WWE. If WWE was an exciting place to be, if they weren't trying to destroy the UK independent scene, for example, if they didn't make a mockery of Raw's tag division, for example, like maybe they'd have a chance at signing some of these guys.
I know the enthusiasm gap between WWE and basically any other wrestling promotion is huge. Seemingly, I mean, we saw over this weekend or this past couple days, the Madison Square Garden house show.
Yes,
the day after Christmas. Usually the most well-attended house show of the entire year was down to about 11,000 attendees. The same night in Chicago, there was a SmackDown house show, only drew about 6,000, but apparently they didn't even announce what the main event was.
Yeah.
And so after a WWE title cage match between Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and Mustafa Ali, a bunch of people left. They thought the show was over.
Yeah.
Little they know the main event was actually Charlotte versus Becky versus Asuka.
Yeah.
So they wrestled to like half the crowd that was there earlier.
That's horrible. That's so bad. That is so bad.
It is bad.
And of course, this is coming off the heels of the Ring of Honor New Japan Super Show. What is it called? Supercard of Honor or something like that?
G1 Supercard.
G1 Supercard. Everything with Ring of Honor is of honor. Selling out 15,000 Saturday before WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden. So there's just, I think that all in, it had like two effects. Number one, it put a massive spotlight on how exciting non-WWE wrestling is, and it put a giant spotlight on how not exciting WWE product is. And that's not a knock on the performers, it's a knock on the creative. Like, there's nothing exciting going on there.
No.
And they thought that NXT would help build a little bit of buzz for the MSG show. And according to Dave Meltzer, anyways, the reaction was fairly tepid for the NXT match itself.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the people popped big for Cena.
Yeah.
He came out and humiliated Baron Corbin again.
Yeah.
That's sort of Cena's Twilight Years gimmick, is humiliating Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Putting over some superstars, but consistently humiliating Baron Corbin.
Oh, man. So, anyways. Here we go. Before we continue, Larson, let's do that. There we go.
Yeah.
What would it look like, Larson, if we all just listened more? Listening to audiobooks motivates us, inspires us, even brings us closer together.
And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet. For example, Audible offers an extensive selection of pro wrestling books, including Slobber Knocker, Jim Ross's autobiography, narrated by good old JR himself.
There's a ton of wrestling books on Audible.
Yeah, some awesome stuff.
A couple of Chris Jericho's books are on there.
Bill Apter's books on there.
I think a while ago, anyways, they had that Death of WCW book. I think that was on there. Anyways, and now Audible members get even more. Each month, members receive 1 credit good for any audio book they choose, plus 2 Audible originals and exclusive audio fitness programs at the beginning of the year, man. Everybody's they're setting their body goals right now.
Yes. Plus, your books are yours to keep. With Audible, you can go back and re-listen anytime, even if you cancel your membership. Don't like your audiobook? Exchange it. No questions asked.
Start a 30-day trial, and your first audiobook is free. Go to audible.com/GIR, or you can text GIR to 500-500. That's 500-500. You can do it with audiobooks.
Again, that's Audible, AUDIBLE.com/GIR, or text GIR to 500-500.
And thank you to Audible for sponsoring today's episode. And you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to audible.com/GIR or texting GIR to 500-500. That's 500-500. Man, I was looking it up today. I plan on going to the gym. I got my own body goals, Larson, and there's a ton of even like non-wrestling books because we like stuff that isn't just wrestling. 1776.
Great book.
I know you've read it. I've read like the first chapter, I think,
it's
in
fantastic.
book form.
It's fantastic.
But it's the kind of thing that, and it's got David McCullough, the writer, who's also a terrific narrator.
Yeah, he narrates it.
Narrating it.
You should do it.
And it's like a warm blanket of history, man.
Yeah, it's great.
So I'm definitely going to check that one out.
Fascinating read and listen.
Absolutely. Anyways, thanks again to Audible. We
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
Moving on.
Oh, this is exciting. Are you ready for this, Steve?
This is very interesting.
Countdown to All Elite Wrestling. Has it begun? Yes, it has. Matt Jackson posted a very, very interesting tweet late last night, early this morning. It was captioned simply with, "Who's ready?" And it featured a screenshot or a still of some sort of countdown that was set to hit 0 at midnight, January 1st, 2019. Of course, that is the exact moment in time when both the Jackson brothers, Matt and Nick, the Young Bucks, will be officially free agents. So what kind of announcement are we expecting here? All Elite Wrestling, all in two? What's it going to be?
Okay, so this was
just a new Being the Elite, which is going to say all this stuff?
Part of the Wrestling Observer newsletter this week, Meltzer was talking about Impact, and it's moved to the hunting channel Pursuit of a
What do you think
better
of
TV
Callis?
deal.
Kind of this is a tangent. Callis saying they're going to kind of make a edgier product now that's on Pursuit, sexier, edgier. That's what he said.
They already have that Scarlett Bordeaux angle where she's essentially, like her skits look like porn.
Adult film stuff.
Well, they look like the setup for pornography stuff. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's cool.
More hardcore guy from TNA
dude,
stuff.
To be honest with you, I was saying, I'm like, Impact needs to be an hour long. There's no need for it to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
They have a fantastic roster that could be great with like an hour.
Which is a good segue because I think what you're getting at is while Meltzer was talking about Impact TV deal, yada yada yada, he kind of tossed in this bit of a throwaway line. It's actually kind of important. It seems like a huge deal.
It's a big deal.
He says, quote, "It is not a secret that there were forces attempting to sell Impact to AEW." That would be All Elite Wrestling a few months ago, but that proposal was turned down. So there's two things here to take from this. Of course, Anthem was trying to get rid of Impact, probably because it was like just losing money hand over fist. Two, as of a few months ago, I don't remember when the first rumors about AEW coming out were. A few months ago, it'd be over the summer.
Yeah, I know.
Anywhere between late summer and midsummer.
I don't remember when those first rumors
I want to
started.
say it was October or something like that.
November,
October.
It was definitely after All In, but I think it was a little
well after. Yeah,
I think it was like November.
Yeah,
I think it was only like a month and a half ago.
So if there was rumors flying within the industry of All Elite being a thing,
it's no secret. Evidently, it was a secret. We didn't hear about it. We read your newsletter all the time.
Yeah. Meltzer, he has sources. Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega,
directly.
Yeah. And this is the first we're hearing about this non-secret.
Yeah,
it's just weird. And just to toss in this sentence in a segment of the newsletter is completely unrelated to anything else All Elite Wrestling. That would come later in the newsletter.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
It is very weird.
But if that were the case, say if one of Tony Khan's strategies and the Young Bucks and Cody in terms of forming All Elite Wrestling and getting a really good roster, if that was one of the plans was to go and try to buy Impact and rebrand it as All Elite Wrestling with Cody and the Young Bucks as kind of the top guys to build the promotion around, then along with them you have Brian Cage, Sami Callihan, Jordan Grace, Tessa Blanchard. You would have had a roster that rivals NXT right now in your hands, and you don't have the stigma of it still being branded Impact. You got a lot of money behind it. Wrestlers would be happy going there. It would be that. I mean, you would instantly, legitimately have, that you'd have instantly. They would be a really good TV deal away from really making some solid headway. Exactly. Yeah. That's all it would take if they got on. I don't know, some major cable network, something that wasn't Pop or Pursuit. Yeah. Something that actually was in 90 to 100 million homes, Let's see here. There was, So, and that was the other thing that was kind of interesting about what he said in the newsletter is that Impact's share of the Pop TV revenue deal amounted to about $20,000 per week. It's not enough to put on a wrestling promotion.
What is that, about $1 million a year?
Yeah. That's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money.
It's not. Combine that with the paltry gate that they were getting for their shows. That's not a ton.
Losing money, man.
Right there.
Meltzer also adds, quote, once everyone is out of their Ring of Honor contracts as of January 1st, I expect some real tangible All Elite Wrestling news. I expect more will come up, probably sooner than later, but I'm guessing that the All Elite Wrestling deals would be exclusives, at least for the North American market. In the end, both Ring of Honor and All Elite Wrestling, that is hard to say, if it becomes a thing, would vie for the New Japan working relationship, and maybe New Japan could even work with both companies, but the All Elite Wrestling guys wouldn't be on a Ring of Honor show, is how I see this going down.
So you could say what you want about Meltzer's speculation sources in the WWE. This is as solid as it gets for All Elite Wrestling. Yeah. This is because he is literally getting this from the Elite. The E in AEW, that's his source. So that's fascinating. That's why it's you know, things are going to get very interesting as it pertains to Ring of Honor and New Japan. Because Cody is very, like, you know, he still wants to work with New Japan. He wants to be a better wrestler and be in New Japan.
I mean, you know, right now, Kenny is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Historically speaking, the champ doesn't lose at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's been like 7 or 8 years since the heavyweight champ lost the belt at Wrestle Kingdom. So historically speaking, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Not to say it won't this time around, depending on what his plans are going forward when his contract expires at the end of January. But say he retains, he's probably not going to leave New Japan because I know there's still stuff he wants to do there. But at the same time, I have a hard time believing he wouldn't work somewhat with All Elite Wrestling too.
When did he re-sign last year? Do you remember?
End of January.
End of January. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would, boy, Ring of Honor is getting hit hard. Like, that's the thing. Basically, Cody and the Young Bucks have set up Ring of Honor's direct competition.
Pretty much.
Because up until now, Ring of Honor's, the only real competition they have is like NXT. That's basically it.
Kind of Impact, too.
Yeah, kind of Impact. But it's basically like, WWE's like poaching Ring of Honor, basically, you know. So, yeah, now, like, they are setting up Ring of Honor's direct. Like, this is essentially, they will be Ring of Honor 2.0. And, you know, I'm sorry, but for right now, anyways, a much more exciting Ring of Honor. I really love the signings that Ring of Honor have made.
Yeah, me too.
But, and then there's the matter of, you know, Marty Scurll's there. That dude is leaving.
Yeah, that's like this is a lame duck term of his contract.
It really
Apparently
is.
It's up in April.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all very interesting stuff.
And
you know?
and if All Elite at any point did have aspirations or plans to try to purchase Impact and use that as the building blocks of their future promotions, that fell through. You know, who's not to say they didn't go to New Japan and say, hey, we can more or less be your North American affiliate, essentially.
You want like a real basis for an expansion. We're it, you know. So yeah, that's all very interesting stuff. It's like Meltzer says, as of January 1st, things are gonna get very interesting.
Whenever the clock that Matt Jackson referenced hits 0, I imagine we'll get a new episode of Being the Elite, and we'll start getting information about all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff. Let me ask you this: we have to do. Okay, so wait a second. That episode. What's the exact date and time? Is that countdown?
It'd be January 1st, midnight on January 1st.
Midnight.
So ball drops. New Being the Elite. They announced their plans.
We have to do. Granted, you and I are both going to be sleeping probably by 12:05.
No, I'm planning to last till midnight.
Right. The first, you and I have to do an emergency podcast, like a 15-minute thing.
I can't make any guarantees, man. I can't stay up that late anymore.
That's big. No, I'm not saying let's do it at midnight.
Oh.
I'm saying like around noon the next day.
We'll be in the office the next day.
No, first.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
We hadn't planned on it.
All right.
I'll just run over here. You're literally
I'm just down the
walk
road.
away. You got to get back on those emergency podcasts, man.
Well, we do stuff every day, so we don't really have to do emergency podcasts anymore.
No need for them whatsoever.
No.
But that's a pretty big deal.
It would be a huge deal, assuming that anything of consequence is announced. at the stroke of midnight, January 1st.
I mean, can I just appeal to them? Just save it to like noon the next day. Just save it to like noon on the 1st. Then we can come in. We can come in and do it.
Well, if that's the case, save it till like 9 a.m. on the 2nd.
That's unreasonable. This is their business they're trying to start.
This is our business we're trying to keep going. I have no power to dictate to them how they conduct their business, but
neither do I.
Yeah, I would ask them keep it in line with how we do our business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we're going to be the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling.
Sure. Speaking of wrestlers in New Japan who won't be going to All Elite Wrestling, the Ace.
But if All Elite Wrestling has a special working relation with New Japan, he could because he is signed with New Japan.
He has re-signed with New Japan. The Ace is staying in New Japan. Hiroshi Tanahashi announced on his Twitter today that he signed a new deal with New Japan. However, no terms. Of course, there's a lot of speculation as to what the future may hold for current IWGP champion and Tanahashi's Wrestle Kingdom opponent Kenny Omega. So the timing of this contract signing announcement are interesting. Of course, they've had this whole storyline going in the Wrestle Kingdom match about how Tanahashi is representative of like the old school strong style of New Japan, whereas Kenny Omega embraces different styles.
Best bout machine styles.
Is willing to do comedy matches, hardcore matches, a variety of matches, not just wrestle the one way, different approaches to training, all this stuff. A very unique approach to a storyline heading into a huge main event match at the second largest wrestling show in the entire world of each year. So contrast that with Kenny, who of late has kind of not really been making the press rounds very much, at least according to Meltzer, because he notes, quote, he doesn't feel comfortable since most of the questions would be regarding his 2019 future, and he said he felt like whatever he said would become social media fodder and be taken out of context.
I mean, look at what happened last year. That's why I was asking about that. Look what happened last year.
Everything was about, well, what are you going to do?
Are you going to go to the Rumble? Are you going to be in the Rumble? Are you going to be in the Rumble? And this poor guy, and Kenny genuinely seems like a really genuine guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was out on all these interviews. I don't know. And you can tell like he feels compelled not to come off as shady.
Mm-hmm.
He feels compelled to try to say as much as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like it was probably overwhelming for the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And understandably so.
Yeah. So, he was like, back then, you know, he would say, well, 75% decided on one company and not the other company, but there's this, there's that. So now it just sounds like he's just staying out of it.
Yep.
You know,
it's like come January 29th or 31st or February 1st, whatever day he is officially a free agent, somebody doesn't re-sign in advance with New Japan, then he'll probably say something. Until then, he's not going to say a word. However, if he does drop that title at Wrestle Kingdom, it's going to potentially speak volumes.
I mean, well, man, I hate saying this. I hate getting into like how has he not made up his mind at this point? He's got to know exactly what's on the table with All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what's on what's on the table from New Japan.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that he hasn't signed, I mean, I'll put it this way. I know where my predictions are going. You know what I mean? It's a different situation than it is with WWE, you know. I mean, in this case, he's either going to go to WWE or he's going to go to All Elite Wrestling. But I don't think he's going to, like, re-sign. And if he was going to, like I said earlier, if he was going to, with All Elite Wrestling, he could have his cake and eat it too. He could sign with New Japan and moonlight with All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the most likely scenario.
But why isn't he just if that's the case, why isn't he just re-signed with New Japan?
Well, maybe pure speculation. I mean, I think the timing of this Tanahashi contract signing is not coincidental. I think this is all to build anticipation for this match. Where look, Tanahashi, he's true to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's going to stay here. He's a lifer in New Japan. He's not going anywhere. Whereas Kenny, his future is very obviously up in the air.
So
that's
do you
all
think
building to the storyline for the
they're
match.
using that? I mean, I know they've kind of alluded to it. Like Kenny even said, didn't he say in an interview recently where he thinks everybody who signs with WWE like turn their back on New Japan and stab people in the back or whatever that was?
I don't remember.
You remember that? Really? Yeah, that was like you're the one who pointed it out to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Well, go ahead and keep talking about stuff.
Oh,
look it up.
No, that's pretty much it. As far as that story. Was this recent or was this a couple of years ago? That sounds like something that he might have said a couple of years ago.
Let's see here. I mean, unless I read something that happened like a couple of years ago.
Could be. I'll move on to the next story. Who wants to party with Bullet Club?
Oh, here we go. No, yeah, it was just from the other day.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't point that out to you then.
Okay, let's see here. It was so he's in. This is the part of the Wrestle Kingdom
Where is
stuff.
this from?
Let's see here. Tokyo Sports.
Gotcha.
So this is
he has been doing some press in Japan, but I guess in the States he hasn't been doing any.
6 days ago. Let's see here. Further asked about his criticism of Tanahashi. Let's see. Was interviewed by the company website, by New Japan's website.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Here we go. He said, crazy here. And granted, this is all in character, but still, he says, how there's this effing image where all these who stabbed you in the back, stabbed New Japan in the back, Prince Devitt, Nakamura, Styles, Gallows, Anderson, you guys still praise these mother effers as heroes. They stabbed you in the effing back. Who raised this company up from the ashes? Who was the one who saved all you peasants? It was effing me. That's why I stood up on the apron. That's why I voted for myself. I was the only one with courage. I was the only one to effing do it. So, I mean, granted, that's in character and everything.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know, man. I think that you could be right. I mean, they could be using his will he re-sign, will he not, Tanahashi's re-signing as sort of, adding to the intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe my prediction won't go there. Maybe my prediction will be with Kenny Omega.
No, we already did our Wrestle Kingdom predictions. Those are done. Those are sealed. We did it when they announced the card. We didn't do confidence points. We can add confidence points.
Oh, but yeah, I didn't know those were real predictions.
Oh, okay.
I was goofing around.
All right, I guess I'll do real predictions then.
I think I voted for Tanahashi. No,
You
I'm
did?
changing that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's not real. The last episode that we do before Wrestle Kingdom, that's when we do our predictions.
That's the real one?
That's the real predictions.
All right.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you something.
What?
Were those predictions, number one, we didn't do that as its own video, so we're
No.
going to definitely do that.
Yeah.
And number two, did we put Wrestle Kingdom 13 predictions in the title of the episode?
I don't think so.
See, that's a thing.
I think it was just an offhand thing.
Yeah, those were goof.
Okay. All right.
Now I have more information. Tanahashi re-signed. I'm better informed.
All right.
As are you.
I mean, I didn't think Tanahashi was going to All Elite or WB anyways.
Oh, I never thought that was going to happen.
No. So him re-signing this seems like a formality at this point. Anyway.
But the big ballyhoo about it, I think
Yes.
you're right. I think that might be something.
Yes. Because I can't usually, when people re-sign with New Japan, there's not that level of
fanfare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to party with Bullet Club?
Evidently not.
Well,
we're not getting invited by Tama Tonga.
Tama Tonga just asked people to send them ideas who they wanted at the block party. Anyways, so Tama Tonga at the end of a show at Corkin Hall recently announced that there was going to be a Bullet Club block party that was going to go down April 7th in New Jersey. Of course, April 7th is also Wrestlemania Day. But Tama assured everyone that the block party won't interfere with anything else going on that particular Sunday, while adding, quote, to be clear, this is actually from the Bullet Club block party Twitter, to be clear, since we keep getting this question, this isn't some invade the parking lot and throw up a tent event. This is going to be a real venue where we call the shots to be ready for a real party. Jimmy Seafood, who is partnering with Bullet Club to put on the block party, will evidently release more details on January 2nd. Cultaholic got invited.
I know.
It's good for them.
Good for them. What does that mean?
Why can't you be happy for other people?
What do I care about other people? I care about us. I want to be invited.
Maybe we will be.
I feel bad. Now, here's the thing. It'd be hypocritical for us to accept that invite.
Why?
Because I proclaim Bullet Club is dead. I've said that without the elite, they're nothing. I can't turn around now just because I want some invite to some awesome party.
Well, I never said that, so I'll go.
You'll go?
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be like when I went to the Performance
Exactly.
Center, and I'll hold the fort down here.
Yeah.
I'll do the Mania live stream.
All by yourself.
Perfect.
And then I'll go hang out with Tama Tonga, Bad Boy Tama Tonga, Bad Luck Fale, Carl Anderson.
No, he's not going to be there.
Doc Gallows.
No, man, he's not going to be there either.
Bone Soldier. He'll be there.
Yeah, the new one will be.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
No, he won't be there.
He's not going to be there.
Real rock and roller.
Definitely not going to be there.
Darn it.
However, if Cultaholic's going to go, that's sort of more exciting to me. I'd get drunk with those guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Them little British dudes.
Pachiti's actually pretty tall.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He's really thin, though. I could probably take him down.
You say something nice.
I'll throw you at him. How about that?
You can't pick me up.
Oh, I could pick you up.
How much do you deadlift?
Huh? More than you.
Doubtful. You don't even do deadlifts.
I know, but I'm pretty sure I can. No, I'm saying more than you weigh.
Oh, I don't know.
I think
you got a bad back. You probably couldn't do.
My back is fine. You're the one who was always sitting here complaining about stuff.
It's usually my neck. You use your neck to deadlift.
Exactly. You're a pain in the neck.
I'm gonna give you an AA at this party. I guarantee you that.
Give me nothing.
Guarantee you that. Guarantee you that. So that sounds like a blast. Unfortunately, unless we get an invite from Bullet Club, we won't be able to attend. But it sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool. It sounds really cool. But we need all expenses.
I want to
paid.
try some of this Jimmy's seafood. Like all the wrestlers talk about it.
Yeah.
I like myself some crab cakes, some seafood. Mm-hmm. So I think they have some sort of mail order thing where you can order some crab cakes and get them shipped to you. Maybe I'll do that. Do you like crab cakes?
Yeah, but shipped to you.
Yeah, I mean they're frozen.
Like Omaha steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be cool. If, like I said, if we get invite with all, I'm gonna check the Twitter. I posted like a little funny GIF.
Yeah, you did. That was.
And
good.
then a bunch of people kept on asking about us.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Let's see.
Should we
find out?
In lieu of this block party? Should we order some Jimmy's seafood to have on hand for our WrestleMania live stream, reaction live stream?
God no.
Why not?
Because if we don't get invited, I'm anti. If we don't get invited, I'm anti everything. I'm anti Tamatanga.
No, you're not.
I'm anti-cultaholic.
No, you're not.
Anti-Matthew.
No, you're not.
If Wrestle Talk get invited, I'm anti them.
No, you're not.
Damn them all.
No, you're
That's
not.
what I say.
No.
And especially Jimmy Seafood. I'm anti that.
Man, I really want to try some
We
Jimmy
don't get
seafood.
invited. All expense paid. I'm burning it down. Yep, believe that.
Oh my goodness.
I will never predict a win for Bullet Club again. Let's see
terrible.
here.
That's terrible.
I'm seeing if we. These are all just questions, man. I want to know if Tamatanga is inviting us.
No, he would have tagged us. It hasn't happened yet, and it may never happen. It probably will never happen.
Look at
but
that,
that's
people.
okay.
It's not okay. Kind of flipping. Oh man, so irritated. Whatever. I like Simon Miller though. He might be Bullet Club soon.
Mm-hmm.
But nope. I'm trying to find the questions here.
What, the question thread?
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
All right, we'll start reading questions.
Kirsten Harwood, with 6 NXT call-ups being announced, will their debuts be before, during, or after the Rumble? And do you think it'll mean there won't be any after Mania like usual?
With 6 NXT...
I think they'll probably all be before the Rumble. And I don't necessarily think it will preclude any additional ones post-Mania.
I don't know. 6 are being called up, and then like 6 more after the Rumble or after Mania. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like
Who's to say it's going to be 6 more? It could just be a couple. 1 or 2 to Raw, 1 or 2 to SmackDown.
I'll put it this way. I still think there's mileage to get out of. I mean, okay, who could be called up? Velveteen Dream needs to. He's done a lot in 2018, and he's going to get stale if he doesn't get called up.
Mm-hmm.
Aleister Black, I still feel, can actually do quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. He
still
can.
think
Undisputed
he can
Era
do-
still can, but I wouldn't be surprised either if Undisputed Era got called up either.
If Vince wants to generate some buzz, you got to call up some of those big NXT names.
Mm-hmm.
NXT is just too good to be wasted at NXT. They need the ratings, man. They need the ratings. So you got to call some of these guys up. Let's see here. SAG asks, since NXT is on the network, could you see it going TV 14 one day? And would that be a good idea? What can you do on TV 14? Can you show like side boob? I think you can show side boob.
Maybe you can have some more adult language. Maybe.
Can you say S word on there?
I don't know.
Ish? Can you say ish?
I don't know.
Does YouTube flag ish?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I assume probably.
Well, don't say any more then.
Demonetized.
Yeah, don't say any more.
I don't know if it's necessary to go TV 14.
No, I don't think it is at all. I think NXT will succeed or fail
I'll
based
be honest,
on,
man.
on the in-ring product more than anything.
It'd be oddball if all of a sudden people started saying ish.
I know.
It'd be just weird.
It would be weird.
Probably it would throw me off.
It would take me out of the show. Andrew Hodge, with Mustafa Ali transitioning to SmackDown Live, do you think more people will be willing to go to 205 as now someone has escaped, or is Mustafa a special case and will have no impact on the future members of 205 Live? It all depends on if 205 Live actually survives the next like 4 months.
Oh man, I forgot I was going to look up the ratings.
Oh yeah, do that.
How do we get access to those?
I don't know. So Mustafa Ali is off 205 Live. Lucha House Party is barely on 205 Live. They could transition full time to Raw and be no ratings this week. It's a holiday week. Maybe all that kind of information is delayed. And really, I don't know who else on 205 Live could probably realistically get called up apart from, we've seen Mustafa, Lucha House Party, Buddy Murphy, if and when he drops that belt, Cedric, maybe Drew Gulak. But apart from those guys, I don't really see anybody else getting called up.
I think they really like Mike Bennett and Kanellis.
Oh, yeah, Maria Kanellis. Yeah.
Maria Kanellis.
Oh, TJP could be on main.
He could be on main. That's a lot of people, though.
It is.
Because then you're just looking at a really packed main roster.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too many people.
And there is a lot of people.
Let's see here. Justin Wern. If All Elite Wrestling officially happens, power rank your top 5 non-elite wrestlers that need to go to All Elite Wrestling.
The club.
No, man, they're using them now. That was fun.
Well, they gave them their network show.
Did somebody leave us that question? Or did I just see that? Oh no, I think it was Matthew from Botchamania who tweeted out something like, "It's curious that the club are on TV now. Finn's getting a push, and then who else is related to them? I guess AJ, punches Vince in something that could be construed as being the elite, homage or mocking or whatever.
Yeah.
Right on the verge of All Elite Wrestling
and all their contracts being up.
Yeah.
Well, not about Finn, but the other guys. But then Nakamura's contract's supposed to be up relatively soon, and he just lost that U.S. title.
But is all of that like some way of stealing their thunder or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's some way of stealing their thunder, but if you want to try to convince Gallows and Anderson to stick around, you give them their own network show and put them on TV more often potentially.
I think Gallows and Anderson. I mean, I'll be honest, they all seem happy.
Mm-hmm.
They all seem happy. Gallows and Anderson, obviously, because they're on TV the least. Like, you would think that maybe, but every time you see them, they seem really happy. You never hear, like, with Rusev, how many times over the year have we heard Rusev's unhappy? Mm-hmm. You never hear that with the club.
Yeah.
And they've got that, Botchamania ripoff now. They always seem happy. Abs Anderson's always posting Instagram pictures showing how happy his life is. I don't think any of those guys are going. I don't think they have any danger of losing any of those guys. Now, the Revival, that's different. I could see a team like the Revival maybe, but I don't know, man. They all have it pretty plush in WWE. If you're already on the main roster, you've got it pretty plush.
I don't know, man. If we've had this conversation several times that if All Elite can pay you 75% of what your WWE contract is, plus you get the benefit of not being on the road 200 days a year, that can be alluring to people in WWE now.
But also, I'll add this to the equation. I mean, time will tell. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if I'm right. Time will tell. But with how many people are underneath the main roster, you got to think, if you're on main roster, you're like, man, I made it here. And there's a ton of people under me, that also has to make you feel kind of good about your spot. Even if you're not on TV, it's like, well, I'm on main roster.
Yeah.
So I'm here. I still have a better chance than everybody underneath me from, having the exposure that I could potentially have. Like at this point, just getting to main roster is kind of a big deal.
It's kind of an accomplishment.
It kind of is. Because you're going to go to All Elite Wrestling, to build your brand even more, to try to get back to square one with WWE?
Well, I think probably one of the goals of All Elite is to make it an endpoint, not for someone to go and build their brand just to jump to WWE, but for that to be, I don't think any wrestling company is ever going to be built to a point where it's a legit direct competitor with WWE in terms of the size and scope of what they do. Mm-hmm. But if wrestlers can go to All Elite and make a really good living, have a place to work where it doesn't demand being on the road as much, people might be into that and not really worry so much about being, just another hand in WWE where they can actually be on All Elite and actually play a pretty major role and still make good money and work a better schedule.
Yeah, I'll believe when I see it. Avid Reyes says, in order to continue to make SmackDown Live and Raw different, what do you think of folding the U.S. title and moving the Cruiserweight title to SmackDown Live?
Well, we've heard that they want to make SmackDown more sports-focused to fall in line with Fox Sports' other properties, which, I always assumed meant they were going to get Cletus, the NFL robot, showing up on SmackDown. However, I think we'll just see some shifting around of talent. So, SmackDown will be probably the more athletic competitors, I would say. Maybe that means a cruiserweight title, not necessarily. But, like pretty much anybody with any MMA experience, I would expect to end up on SmackDown.
SmackDown could, as much as fun as SmackDown is right now, it could be equally as fun and have a ton of buzz behind it if it pivots a certain way. If it, like those backstage press conferences like New Japan.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so smart.
I know.
I think that'd be so fun to do.
If they keep the general feel of the creative the same and just change formats slightly, it could be really awesome.
I agree.
And especially really open things up and let the wrestlers wrestle, like they know how.
They need to do that on Raw, too.
I know.
Like, regardless, that needs to be across the dang
No,
board.
I agree.
Let everybody just
But
wrestle.
I think especially on SmackDown, if the idea is to make it focus more on the athletic aspect of things and not so much on the...
Take, like, the best matches from 205 Live, and if you put those on SmackDown. I mean, Mustafa Ali is such a great move in that direction.
Yes.
And we saw that this week kind of with him and Almas. Go ahead, sorry.
Thomas Speller, looking at spending my Christmas money on YouTube equipment, what should I get? Any advice on how to start a channel? When should I set up a Patreon?
Big moves from Thomas Speller. That's good.
You don't need to spend a ton. I don't know what kind of stuff you want to do, and that would dictate a lot of what kind of equipment you would get. You can get a pretty decent mic for $100. You can get a decent camera for a few hundred. Start with that.
Our little Sony Vixia, the thing that Canon Vixia? Yeah. The thing that it was like, I think it's a RF 200, I think. It was $189, I think. And it's what I shot the interviews with from the Performance Center. It's what we do our We Book Raw thing with for our webcam. It's $189. Yeah, like you said, you can get a decent mic for pretty cheap. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. Once YouTube gets their studio app, so you can actually insert your monetization, a smartphone is all you need.
Yeah.
It really is all. I mean, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
But look at Being the Elite. Wasn't he editing that on his phone or something?
Yeah, iMovie.
Yeah.
Until he got a laptop.
So I don't know. It depends on what your goal is with videos, with YouTube. If you're starting out saying...
Well, it depends what you're creating, too.
I'm sorry, that's what I'm... Yeah. What are you looking to do creatively? If you simply want to get on YouTube and say, I want to make money making videos, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. What you need to be doing is thinking about, what do you have to offer on YouTube? What do you have to offer the world? What is lacking from YouTube? Do you name a subject, Larson?
First thing that popped in my head, medieval poetry.
Okay. If you get on YouTube and you search medieval poetry, is whoever out there, if they're making medieval poetry videos, are they crap? Are they really good and really popular? Do you want to compete with that? If they're crap, then hey, there's a hole out there.
Or if they're really good and doing something really popular, but you think you have a different take.
Yeah.
Or different approach.
Yeah.
Stylistically,
a unique
creatively.
way of doing it, yeah.
Then by all means, pursue it. It's whatever, first and foremost, you got to cover material, do something that you're passionate about, because that passion will translate to your viewers. If you do something because you want to be a YouTube star and make money, that's the wrong motivation.
You're not going to get anywhere. You just stop. Just stop right now. Research what you're if you're, for example, if Thomas is a fan of Going In Raw and he says, well, I want to do wrestling podcasts. Great. There's a lot of wrestling podcasts out there. There's a lot of wrestling channels out there that are already doing that.
What's going to separate you from everybody else?
What are you going to do that's different?
Yeah.
What are you going to do that's different?
Yes.
So start there, and then the equipment, the Patreon, all that stuff, Like, you can start a Patreon. Nobody's going to go there if they don't know what you're doing. You got to get out there first.
You got to build your audience.
And then do that. We built our audience on Machinima using for 10 for the win. We got paid essentially by a corporation to build our audience, and that we already had an audience ready to go. So we got laid off. It was like, oh, well, we got to do something.
So let's transition to this.
We love pro wrestling. It's what we love to talk about. So that's what we did.
Abby Love, who is the one person who you'd like to see enter the men and women's Rumble who isn't currently on Raw or SmackDown? I want to see Cassius Ohno in the men's Rumble.
Oh, yeah, that's number one. That's number one. That's like number 1 through 10 for me.
And then in the women's Rumble, I want to see Deonna Purrazzo.
That'd be cool.
She had a great match against Rhea Ripley on the last the last episode of NXT UK.
I really want to see Candice LeRae in the women's Rumble, but I think I'd be more excited to see Bianca Belair. I think somebody who's been doing this for such a short amount of time, who's become so good at what she's done, I think she really deserves to get that spot. You know, I really, really believe that. I think it'd be fantastic if she did. One thing I really don't want to see in the women's Rumble, or to be honest, the men's Rumble, is people who have been here, people who are returning. Like, I don't want to see Michelle McCool or I don't or Candice, whatever,
Candice Michelle.
I don't want to see any of them. What's her name? Kelly. I have no desire to see that. I want to see people that are new or people who have spent years in the indie circuits like Candice LeRae who have paid their dues. They should get a shot. Cassius Ohno should absolutely see that Royal Rumble spot.
Yes.
For sure.
JD the writer, Steve, would you take a chop from Walter for Larson on air too sweet?
No, God, no. Why would I do that?
I'm only going to do on air too sweet for one Patreon tier.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No, I could care less if it be 2 sweets. It'd be cool if we got $200,000 for them. Like, he's missing out on the 2 sweet. You don't know the joys of a 2 sweet. That's on you. You gonna 2 sweet me?
No.
Come on, please. Just once. One time. 2 sweet your ear. Here it comes.
Don't touch me.
Wow.
Don't touch me.
Wow. Mike Adams, who do you think will challenge Ricochet at TakeOver Phoenix for the North American title?
Johnny
It's
Wrestling.
Gargano.
Johnny
It's
Wrestling.
going to be Gargano.
Dalton, won't Becky and possibly Charlotte losing to Ronda at Mania result in an unsatisfying conclusion to her current story arc? Where does she go after that?
Wait, what?
If Becky loses to Ronda at Mania, that could be an unsatisfying conclusion.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it will be. It will be. Here's the thing. Becky's whole story has been about forcing people to give her the opportunities that she's fighting for. You and I both really like Ronda Rousey, but she came in and she immediately was placed in a very prominent position. And I know she worked really hard to get where she was.
Yeah.
But the story is that she was plucked from fame and brought that fame to WWE.
Yes.
Becky beating Ronda needs to happen to validate the story of somebody who has to fight for what they get. They are not given anything.
Yes. No, I agree.
That has to happen.
I agree.
Will it happen?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because I think Ronda winning in the main event of WrestleMania is going to be the best thing for mainstream exposure.
Yes. Yeah.
So it probably won't happen.
Probably won't happen. But that's really what should happen if you want to follow the
and that's kind of the thing, is that Charlotte's storyline isn't Becky's storyline. So I think if you put Charlotte in there, she could take a pin, lose to Ronda, and that way Becky loses a match without eating a pin. Therefore, she can say, well, I was never pinned. You know, I still fought for my opportunity to take on Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah. Jesse James Celsius. This is the last question here. What are some of your goals going into 2019?
You're talking about, what are your summer goals? You mentioned them earlier. I know you said you want to start going to the gym, like, more.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't mean to bury this at the end of the Friday show, but we're starting early. We're going to do our streams earlier now.
Yeah, 9.
9 in the morning Pacific, noon Eastern.
And one of the reasons is because you said you want to get back to the gym more often, right?
Well, right now I don't have it's just difficult because I take the kids to school in the morning.
Yeah.
And then to do what I want to do, I have to walk the dog. I have to get stuff ready. Sometimes I gotta finish up work stuff before I come in.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it early will allow me to go straight from here to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just allow me to be more efficient. Allow both of us to be more efficient here in the office.
Mm-hmm.
It'll give us more time to produce more stuff, which is what one of my goals is. But yeah, just it'll help streamline what I do away from work too, which is one of those things is going to the gym.
Yeah. So I go to the gym in the morning now, so I got to change all that.
But you said it was cool.
No, I said I wasn't. I said I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't going to nix your idea for the sake of me maintaining my current gym schedule. Because as long as I go 3 days a week, I'm content.
But you'll still be able to go, right?
Yeah, I'll find time.
Okay, cool.
I like going first thing in the morning because it helps wake me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when we come in here on Fridays at 9, I feel out of it because I haven't fully. I don't feel like I've fully woken up yet, but I'll get used to it.
Well, I'm going to bring a coffee machine here too. And then I want to do a comic book this year. And I want to get the channel back to a place where I'm happy with it. Those are my goals.
I want to learn how to play piano this year, really learn how to play.
That's cool. How long have you had that as a goal?
I just came up with it.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Because I have fun just kind of learning how to play songs.
Yeah.
I learned how to play kind of Maybe I'm Amazed, the Wings song.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. It's not hard. Once you know how to
It's a McCartney solo song.
No, was it a Wings one?
Nope. It was on his. It was one of the last tracks on his very first solo album.
Oh, all right.
The one where he interviewed himself in the liner notes about why he broke up the Beatles.
Interesting.
Even though he didn't break up the Beatles.
No. Okay. Anyways. So just kind of learning how to play. I know how to make chords and stuff. Mm-hmm. But just actually learning how to play.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think I can ever learn how to read music because that's hard.
Yeah.
I tried that once.
Because that's hard. Challenge yourself, man.
Well, first I just want to get really good about doing different things with different hands. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the hard part of piano. Is you got playing a bass line with this hand over here and doing counterpoint melodies over here.
That sounds...
So I can hammer out chords fine. That's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But actually playing counterpuntal melodies.
Contrapuntal. Yeah.
Sort of that's what McCartney used to do, play one melody in his bass line and sing a different melody. That's got to be hard.
That sounds like it's, really hard. Man, my goodness gracious. So, yeah, those are my goals for 2019. Mainly, I want to get going in Raw. I want to, I don't know. I want everything to be good about going in Raw. And I never feel satisfied.
I think that's kind of part and parcel with working on YouTube, man. Everything's always in flux.
I think it's part of owning a business,
Oh, that too.
It's like you're always striving to make it the best you can, both for your consumer and
for yourself,
for your bottom line. Exactly. But if I don't get invited to the block party, I'll be pretty
years
upset.
of waste.
Yeah, exactly.
Years of waste. Move on to 2020.
It's all that.
All right, everything's hinging on an invite from Tamatonga himself.
It's not going to happen, so we're just going to pack it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Just take 2019 off from going in Raw and try again in 2020. Should we do that?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do that then.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, there's some music for you guys. We got to get Hilton back in here, man. That's what we need. We need an employee.
We need a lot of other things happen before that happens.
They increased our credit line.
You can't pay someone with
Payroll.
a credit card. You can't pay someone with a credit card, man.
Oh, man. Open your mind, man. Open your mind.
It's just not sound business.
It's terrible
I'm not
business.
going to sign off on that.
Terrible business. Anyway, that's it for now. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.